Thank you, folks. I'm just messing around with my new signature guitar that has the Fishman Fluence Gristle tone pickups in them. I purposely I'm on the gain channel of my amp back here. There are several different levels of gain, but I just kept it on the basic setting, and then everything you heard was just me adjusting the volume control on the guitar, and then pressing this button in between the volume control and the tone control. One of the great things about the Fluence pickups is, in addition to being noise-free so I don't get any 60-cycle hum, is that each pickup set has two voices. And on all the other pickup sets that they make for like Strat pickups and classic humbuckers, all that kind of stuff, to get the second voice, there's a push-pull pod on the tone controls. But on my set, because everything is included, this particular control panel with the toggle switch and the volume and the tone, of course the pickups and the input jack, all the stuff comes with the set. I didn't want the push-pull pod to be on the tone control because I didn't want any of that kind of great functionality of tele tone controlled them. I didn't want that to be, shall we say, hindered in any way, shape, or form. So Larry Fishman actually came up with this idea of this push-pull button, or push-push button. So what happens is it just allows me to have meat. Hit that button and it's Gristle time. You know what I mean? It weaponizes the guitar. Some savage beast. The volume, you lose high-end frequency. The treble bleed switch, people call it, a resistor cap mod, whatever you want to call it. But one of the things that these pickups do is that you don't have to worry about that because it doesn't do that. It just gets less loud. So another thing sometimes I do is I'll put both gain stages on the amp and I'll just ride the volume control on the guitar. And I want a little meat, I'll turn it up. If I want more, I press that button in. And away you go. It sounds like the word of God. You know what I'm saying? So lately when I go to gigs, I bring this guitar, a chord, and this amp, and I'm done. You know, it's pretty much got everything I need. And that's not because I want to brag to people, I don't use any pedals or whatever. It's like, I like pedals. Pedals are cool. I have all kinds of different pedals that do different things, and that's all well and good. But if I could get away with not using any pedals, that's cool too. So, especially when I play in a band with an organ player, I don't really need to have a bunch more textures. So I just like a really good reverb, and I hit that one control on the way that you heard that somewhere in there. It's got a harmonic vibrato on board. So it's almost like having a... Get the idea. It sounds like a unifier. That's basically all I do is I bring this guitar out, this amp, and I'm good to go, okay? So the pickups themselves, everyone always asks if it's some kind of modeling or what the deal is. It's not. Instead of having copper windings, there was a guy in the aerospace industry that was a guitar player, and they were used to using really, really thin circuit boards. So his idea was, you know what, you could actually print a coil on the circuit board and then stack those up instead of winding copper windings around magnets. And so that serves as a template that you can make sound any way that you want. The people at Fishman have a bunch of MIT kind of software talent lurking there. So as a result, they were able to flush this technology out. So in order to make the pickups work, there needed to be a battery on board. And initially I was like, battery? I don't want a battery in my damn guitar. But what they were able to do is that there's a lithium-ion battery in this control panel, and in the input jack, right underneath the quarter-inch input, there's a little mini USB input, and you plug the damn things in, and for an hour and a half charge, you get 300 hours of playing time. So that's a long-ass time. Am I right, Bob? So And people always ask too, well, what happens if they run out of power? And I'm like, well, what happens when your cell phone runs out of power? You stop communicating until you plug it in. But the thing is with these pickups that you have 300 hours of plugged in playing time of which to decide when you want to plug the damn thing in. So I say if you got a gig that lasts longer than 300 hours, perhaps you should seek some new representation. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I've never run out of gas. I've had the Strat and the Les Paul for 6 years now, and I've never come close. I've never been stranded at the toilet bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because they do a thing when you plug in the charger, there's a red light that says it's charging. It goes green when it's full up. And if you plug it in and the red light flashes, that means you're down to your last 5 hours. I've never even come to that. So, because I change strings after every 3 gigs anyway, so that's nowhere near 300 hours. So then as I'm restringing my guitar, I just plug the damn thing in and top it off. So, and when you consider the lithium-ion batteries, people are like, well, we knew with our cell phone, you get a couple years in and then the damn battery's skedoidled. But we're not, we charge our phones like probably twice a day. With these, you're charging them once every, God knows how long. So as I said, for 6 years, I haven't had any problems with these other guitars, and I haven't replaced any of them. So there you have it. Anyway, a little bit about the guitar, because people always likes to ask. This is a Reverend Gristle Master. I've been known the Reverend people for years. The pickups themselves had come out probably 3 or 4 years ago now. And they didn't come in any production line guitars. And we had talked about maybe doing some various different things over the years, maybe like with a Fender Custom Shop situation or something like that through Wildwood or whatever the case may be. And a situation just came, Ken and I had been buddies for a long time, and we started shooting the breeze. And what happened was he set me up with a Pete Anderson Eastsider, and he had put a set of my pickups in it. And I listened to that guitar, and I was like, damn, this thing sounds good. And so he said, no pressure, we're buddies, but if you ever wanted to do anything, Joe Naylor and I would like to talk to you about perhaps designing a guitar for you. And so one thing led to another. I always had the idea of having a slightly larger bodied T-style guitar, because I'm a big son of a bitch, you know what I'm saying? And everyone's always looking at me going, is that some kind of a ukulele or a mandolin or something? I'm like, no, what are you, a Lilliputian? So anyway, I thought it would be cool to get a guitar that would just be slightly larger on all sides. So this guitar is actually like 2% or 3% larger on all sides. And it's a Carina body. And I had been messing around with this guitar that had a Firebird body and a maple neck with tele controls. And Joe Naylor's like, well, what if we put a raised middle section on the guitar? And I thought, well, that looks cool. And that actually functioned not only as a cool aesthetic thing, but the raised middle section is actually the normal width of a guitar like this T-style guitar. And so everything else is recessed, so it actually serves as weight relief. So the guitars all come in a little bit over 7 pounds, like 7 1/4 or something like that. If you're wondering what this thing is, originally I wanted kind of a chrome surround for this pickup, but the problem is the chrome was messing with the impedance of this pickup, and it didn't sound right. I got the prototype, I go, look, I love the guitar, it sounds great. For whatever reason, the neck pickup sounds a little wimpy in comparison, and I've got these pickups, these Gristle tone pickups, at about 5 guitars, and that's not the case in any of them. And he's like, all right, well, let me check it out. So then he replaced the metal with this parchment pickguard material, and that solved it. He goes, so we could either wait 9 months to figure out what metal is not going to mess with the impedance of the pickup, or we can go with the plastic surround. I said, let's go with the plastic surround. Plus, I think it looks cool. And there's been some people online going, dude, I like everything about that guitar except for that plastic surround. And then I just respond, well, I'll tell you what, when you get your signature guitar, you don't have to have one. So I think it looks cool. So other than that, I always like 22 frets on guitars. There are people that think that's sacrilege, but sometimes I'm on the key of B, I want to be able to go, I want to be able to have that extra fret. They're 6105 frets. It's 10-inch radius here, 14-inch radius up here. It's got the pin lock tuners, roasted maple. And I tell you what, I had this guitar in the middle of winter when it was like the polar vortex up in Wisconsin. So I think it was like 30 below wind chill factor or something like that. And then I flew to Jamaica where it was, nice. And the neck didn't move, and then I flew back, and the neck still didn't move. So the roasted maple, it gets all the moisture out of it, so it does not adjust. You don't have to worry about, oh, the seasons have changed, I need to set my guitar up again. So, and I think it looks cool too. So, and they can really bake it so it's much darker too, but I just dig it. So, anyway, that's the gist of it. This particular color we decided to call Blucifer. But there's also there's a yellow one that's kind of a powder yellow, pow yellow, and then there's a wow red. So they're cool. So anyway, that is the Gristle Master, and they all come with the Fishman Fluence Gristle tone pickups in them. There's no other option. They come with them, and that's that. So I should mention that the other guitars that I have here, when you buy like the classic humbuckers, like on this Les Paul, they come with a 9-volt option. So that one 9-volt battery is going to have a life of 300 hours, but you can upgrade that and get the back panel for that, which has the lithium-ion battery, and that's going to last 300 hours. But one of the things I like to do is go from a Les Paul or from this Telly or Gristle Master, go from this and then plug in the Les Paul right afterwards. Because usually when you plug in a Les Paul after a guitar like this, it should sound like a mud factory. But because of the way these pickups are made, I won't even touch the EQ on the amp, and you'll hear how it sounds. So in all the other Fluence sets, it comes with the pickups, it comes with the volume controls, and it comes with the tone control. So to get that second voice, and all the other pickup sets, other than mine's the only one that has the push-push button. All the rest of them are push-pull on the tone controls. So the Les Paul, the classic humbuckers, it sounds great. It sounds like a Les Paul should. But what's great about it is when I turn down the volume, I don't lose any highs. The second voice on these pickups, it sounds, the neck pickup on it, I just was playing the Telly and I just plugged this thing in, it sounds killer. Right? If I grab the tone control and pop it up, and it gets the second voice on the neck pickup, almost sounds more like a kind of a arch top type of a thing. Now the bridge pickup, actually the middle pickup sounds, the middle position sounds great too. Turn the volumes down a little bit, cleans up a little. Bridge pickup on this piece. The first position sounds more like kind of the Blues Breakers type of thing. The second position gives you a little bit more heat, so it gives you more. It goes from like a traditional Seth Lover humbucker PAF to something that's a little bit more beefy. around and it cleans right up. So it makes it the most versatile Les Paul in the history of man, or beast. So these are the Fluence Classic humbuckers. They just came out with a new version of the Classic humbuckers, which are open core, so you see the zebra coils, and it has one extra voice. So it goes from being a PAF, traditional set lever PAF, to something that, again, on the bridge pickup gives you more of like a JB, the neck pickup more kind of like an arch top, and then there's actually a coil tap as well for a third voice on the open core. Anyways. So these are the Fishman Fluence pickups. I've been involved with them now for the last 6 years. Been playing these pickups. We're actually working on a new P90 that we're working on in the fall that may make an appearance next year at this exact time, at this exact show, on a new Reverend instrument that I will do that will have those pickups on it. I can't say for sure, but you heard it here first, right? So anyways, well, thanks so much, folks. Nice to see you. We'll see you next time. Greg Koch for Fishman. Thank you. About the right time, right?